This seems to be a major group that seems to have crossed over. We'll still await more accurate information because there is that fog of war that happens in such circumstances. And, you have to wait for things to crystallize before you can really comment. But the standard practice, that means a major attempt at infiltration has been made. And when they cross the line of control, then they try and get into one of these wooded patches so where they can hide in the daytime. And you do get information of this, and then the boys in their eagerness rush into these dense forested patches. And there is a sense of loss of direction there, and situational awareness is very poor, and you tend to get ambushed at times. So we'll await and see what exactly has happened. But there seems to have been a major attempt to infiltrate. You would recall that similar attempts to infiltrate and a huge consignment of arms and ammunition was intercepted just last week. And about 7 assault rifles, about 8 pistols, 80 grenades, and heavy ordnance like that was captured. So now I fail to understand what is the utility of this ceasefire. What is the utility of this ceasefire? Why was this agreed to? I can't for the life of me understand. Why did somebody have to negotiate this ceasefire in out of third country location? What have we gained? The only people who seem to have gained are Pakistan, who got a free hand to do whatever they wanted in Afghanistan. And now they are mounting a regular full-scale terror infiltration offensive. Now it's time to hit back, open up our artillery and set the line of control on fire. We can't afford to, when we know so many people have come into the launch pads in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, sticking to a ceasefire is stupidity of the highest order. I cannot understand why this is being countenanced. I cannot understand why we are becoming so tolerant of terror. We know the kind of killing that they have been doing of the minorities. We know the kind of infiltration they have been trying to do. We should go all out and stop being bloody defensive. We need to get offensive and hit across at the launch pad. I thought that was standard operating practice now. Why things change, I fail to understand. Why we grow soft in the head. We need to hit back across the line of control now. And hit back very hard.
All right, thank you so much, Major General G.D. Bakshi, for joining us here on Republic with that entire perspective. Going across to M.M. Khajuria, the former DGP of Jammu and Kashmir as well, joining us now. Sir, this is certainly distressing news coming in. Agencies now reporting that 5 of our Jawans have been martyred in this encounter in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch district.
Yeah. You see, there's no point in getting hyper about this. We are fighting a war. And when such tragedies take place, the sensible thing is to go back to the board and try and find out where we have got wrong, what are our weaknesses the enemy has exploited, and what we need to do to put the enemy at his proper place. The war is not going to end in coming 2 months or 2 years, and therefore we should be prepared for both to kill and in the process perhaps sadly get killed. Now, the rising in the new phase, we are going for individual killing because it's a low-cost operation and it creates much larger fear. In Kashmir, they have done it. Now they've done it with Poonch. And probably the next the target would be Jammu. Now, all these possibilities have to be taken into account by the security forces and the intelligence services, and they must be prepared to nip the evil in the bud, not wait for them to strike, but strike them before they can cut off and make the first move. That's what I think is the answer. The people's morale must be kept high. The showcase of morale is already very high. These tragedies do not make them weak, they make them stronger, they make them angry, they make them more determined to kill the enemy, and that's our greatest test.
But Mr. Khajuria, don't you even think that once again this is exposing Pakistan and how they are taking advantage of the ceasefire between India and Pakistan as well?
Yes, that of course is there. We have to meet this situation on all fronts, in diplomatic fronts, in the international area, and obviously expose Pakistan, which is who is behind this mischief. So she was yesterday. She is behind this mischief today, and she is going to be behind this mischief in days to come. And that's something we should never forget. Pakistan should know that we are going to exact the price for what they have done to our boys, and that's that.
In fact, Mr. Khajuria, your entire perspective of this area that we are talking about, this is the DKG area in Surankot jurisdiction of Poonch. And help us understand how difficult these terrains are and the heavy firing that is still underway between our forces and the terrorists.
You see, the point is the border in this area is just to take one step across the line and you are in occupied area. And then there are sort of certain, how shall I put it, certain areas where it is possible to hide. There are caves and things like that. And as we are face to face, the firing does take place, and it will take place in days to come. We have in this area, it's difficult to fight because once they enter inside, then the entire Himalayas are open to them. And then our people have difficulty in tasting them. We do